You know, you ever had one of those terrible nightmares, but you're so sure that it's just a nightmare and you're just about to wake up. And I remember that was one of the first things that I really felt was that, you know, this is just impossible. You know, I'll drive past where the accident was, and every time I'll just stare and try and envision it, like how fast I was going and like what I must have done to the car. When you're riding so high and you're doing everything is going well, and things quickly take a turn for the worst. Sometimes it's really, really tough to believe in. I should be dead.
It's going pretty well.
Let's go and then.
You want to sit down here? Keep chatting. So school's going great.
Yeah.
Grades are good. Sleep is good.
Yeah.
How would you compare how you're doing now, you know, mid-October versus mid-October last year, just in general?
Well, I mean, really, it's drastically different. You know how I'm doing, because I mean, October of last year, you know, I wasn't even thinking about, you know, any football or anything like that, and I was really just in about a depression, and I had been, you know, depressed for a long time. A lot has happened in the past year and a half, and it's something that I think about every single day of my life, really.
I think Ben got turned on to football at around maybe 3rd or 4th grade. Some of the older boys introduced football to the younger boys, and once they got excited about football, they were just playing nonstop.
Ben plays quarterback and I play wide receiver, and it was the same way back in 2nd grade as it is now.
I remember some of the parents looked around and said, where did this kid come from? He could really throw a football.
As soon as my eyes went to that corner, I saw he stayed.
So the history's kind of been up and down with Huron football. Just recently, in the last 10 years, it's kind of been down.
Give you the second to get up there and go. All right.
Coach Parker, I feel like he's been a beacon of hope for really this whole organization.
The inside guy, or the second, number 2, that's the guy that's gonna be open if number 1 does his job.
The winter of 9th grade, I remember after, you know, going 0-9 in the football season. New thoughts started coming to me. I started to just become a lot more skeptical of myself.
Ben really started having a hard time dragging himself out of bed. It was really hard to watch as a parent.
Depression and sadness have been a pretty underlying part of my life. I've never really been happy with myself, I guess. You know, I've always kind of been insecure.
It's intellectually curious. All of a sudden, there was no curiosity. It's like this black cloud in there, and it's, you can't really yank him out of there.
You know, I tried to have more fun. You know, I became a hedonist, so to speak.
Going out a lot, wrong crowd, drinking.
Smoking.
Smoking and drinking. It was pretty much a nightmare.
It was scary for me. I wasn't really completely sure on what to do, how to help.
Well, the next thing we knew, I think it was about 6 a.m., doorbell was ringing, someone knocking at the door. I could see a flashlight, and I thought that was weird. It's the police. The first thing I did think of was Ben.
I immediately knew something bad had happened.
There's been an accident. You know, it's really serious. We're not sure exactly what's going on.
I took out my dad's car, stole some of my dad's vodka that he had in the freezer. You know, after that it gets a little foggy. I do vaguely remember my friends I was with that night seeing that I couldn't drive, trying to really persuade me to stay there and just accept the consequences of taking out the car. To this day, I still don't know why what I was doing driving down this road. I run the stop sign and run straight into this dirt wall here where the street sign is now. Which is a new street sign because the old one went through the windshield and was left in my head. The paramedics got here real quick. When they found me, my body temperature was below like 40 degrees. I was really dead.
And then 2 doctors came in with pretty somber looking faces. You know, they said it's been a head injury.
The street sign broke, and the sign itself went through the windshield and right to his head. I've been in wars. I've seen some awful injuries and so on. But when it's your son, it's different. It's totally different.
You know, so I was in a coma for almost a week.
After the first time I saw him in the hospital, I thought man, I'm really not sure if he'll ever be the same as he was before.
And when I got out of the coma, my condition wasn't much better. I was neurologically impaired.
The therapist was holding up pictures of everyday items. I mean, that's where he was at, you know, sun, moon.
It took a lot of therapy every single day in multiple fields to really regain what I had lost. Emotionally, you know, it had also been really, really scarred. It's embarrassing, really. Depression for me was almost just like a blindfold. You have no hope or optimism for making your situation better. And it's like you're drowning. It felt like I really couldn't overcome it.
There you go, good. That's what it has to be. I have to feel that. That's a football IQ.
You know, a couple months later, I just knew I needed to reach out and make sure that he's a part of us again.
A big learning day. All right, let's build on yesterday.
Don't know if he can play football, but in some capacity, just to be around this positivity. The guys he's grown up playing with is pivotal. I remember one day, I told Nadi, I said, I'm gonna get him to play football again.
I had been hearing that Parker wanted me to come back. And so this thought kind of spawned in my head, or this dream.
So the next day he came in and I saw him at lunch. And I kind of just went up to him and I was like, "You ready?" And he kind of just looked at me and gave me a look like, "Man, what is it?" You know?
Clearly it wasn't, football wasn't in my vogue set of things for him to be doing.
Having his personal connection to Ben and personally going to Ben and saying, you know, think about coming back. I think that meant the world.
I said, fine, let's talk to the doctors, see what they say.
You know, the question that I was given really was, you know, was it safe for Ben to play football given his injuries?
He started working out with us again, and we still didn't know if he could play, if he was going to be medically cleared.
I was afraid, you know, that this accident maybe really had been the turning point in my life towards something negative, and maybe I, you know, really couldn't come back and do it.
We have to assume that if he's playing football, there's a chance he's going to be taking some hits and a chance he's going to have a concussion. He had recovered very well. Part of the decision to say it's okay for you to go back to play is concluding that him having a concussion would be just like anybody else having a concussion. And if that injury is recognized and he's removed participation, evaluated appropriately, and allowed to return safely, that there's no additional risk for him than there would be for anybody else.
All of a sudden, he's cheerful, he's in a good mood.
Just the idea of playing football for Ben started making a lot of his symptoms go away that people had thought were due to the accident. He started to get a lot better from that perspective.
He barely touched a football for 2 years. And then to play varsity and to start as a quarterback for varsity, there's a big jump between the two.
I knew I was ready. I mean, just considering just the preparation and the work that I'd been.
First game, I bet you my heart was pumping faster than his. And he was on the field, right?
I was on the sideline and I saw defensive end coming off the side on his blind side, and I could see it coming, and I kind of cringed for a second.
Junior. Watch out!
I saw him get back up. I was like, hey, he's fine. Like, he can take a hit. Like, it's football. You're meant to take a hit, you know. We connected on a pass in the first game, and just hearing over like the loudspeaker, just hearing Gur-Arie to Gur-Arie, it was pretty cool.
Gur-Arie's pass is complete to Gur-Arie. First down for the River Rats at the 41-yard line.
We won that game 15-12, I think, in overtime. So that was really a cool way to start off my senior year and coming back after everything I'd gone through.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, for me, it's clear that a lot of the things that probably this time last year people were chalking up to your accident and your maybe brain trauma that occurred from the accident, right? And saying, oh, this is just sort of the lot that you've drawn in life. Well, that's the first year. I think it really speaks to the power of playing sports and having a sense of self and identity and all that. Accurate as possible. So, exam is...
That pass?
Yeah, really normal other than what we would expect from the trauma to your right eye. So, you know, at this point, I feel you've come a long way. Obviously, I don't have any reason to keep seeing you, which is always kind of a good thing to a neurologist to say, you don't need to see me anymore. So, awesome. That's great. Is tonight's game at home, or is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the homecoming game.
It is homecoming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll try to stop by.
Cool.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
I was just going to say.
We'll see you tonight, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
Beautiful.
All right.
I mean, I knew Ben was a fighter, but coming from a coma to starting at quarterback for your varsity football team is that's insane.
Overcoming the difficulties and so on. I mean, that's an incredible sense of accomplishment. They accepted him back in spite of the accident and everything.
I have the never-ending guilt for what I did, both to my family, my friends, and all the way to the tow truck driver who pulls my car out to see that some kid killed himself in this car accident.
You've made some bad choices, some bad decisions, right? What do you do after that? What do you do to combat that?
I feel like, the only way I can truly make up for it is just making the most of my life, of what I have. At the end of the day, it's always just going to be me and how I think of myself.
I don't think it's the end of the story, really. I know that, going forward after the season, that there will be still some things that we'll have to work on and figure out. But hopefully, he can see what it brought to him and he can take those pieces from it.
Am I worried about him? Absolutely not. I know that this will propel him.
Where I saw my life is going at that point really probably led to almost my demise. But I'm sure glad it didn't.